Hey everyone, Ashley here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I thought today I would do a deck list. It's been quite a while since I've done one, and I love watching those types of videos. So I wanted to do like a refresh or a new updated version. There we go. There's the word I wanted. Update. I wanted to do an update on my top 5 favorite tarot deck list. This was so hard though, and I may do an oracle one because there's a lot of great oracle decks as well. But this was really hard. I've thankfully been able to add a few new decks to my collection this year and like at the end of last year and everything, and it was so hard to choose because I have so many wonderful decks, and each deck has a specific tool, or there's some that I have for specific reasons, and then there's the ones that like they're like my best friends. I want to hang out with them. I can come to them anytime for any issue, whatever. And this is kind of like where this list sits because these are like my top decks and the ones that I always return to, the ones that I love to have chats with. Um, so I consider those like my home decks, like the ones that I always love to come to. Again, I have others that it was so hard. I have Witch Sister back here, which I absolutely love. Tarot of the Hidden Realm. Both of those are by Julia Jeffrey. I love them. Love them. But they didn't make the list. I guess they could be honorable mentions as well. Because I do have 3 honorable mentions before I get to my 5. It was so hard to pick. It was so hard to pick. I have some coffee, so if you just want to get cozy with your favorite beverage and hang out for a little bit, then let's do it. Again, I'm going to start with the honorable mentions, and then I'm going to go from the 5th spot all the way up to number 1. I bet you can guess which one number 1 is, though. I bet you already know. Especially if you've been here for a while. Okay, so honorable mentions. Again, this was so... And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I have other ones that are put away at the current moment because I haven't worked with them in a little bit because I rotate through them. And so I was like, oh, are there any others? Am I missing any? But I think I've got it. Honorable mentions. Now, the honorable mentions are in no order. These are just ones that I was like, oh man, it's so tough. But this is my Murder of Crows. I also have the mini, and I did a little mod on my mini version, which I'm not going to pull. It's actually on my shelf back here, but the mini version for some reason had this weird white border around it, and I trimmed it off. So it looks just like this one. But this one is a very specific tool for me. I love it to death. I love the colors. This image right here reminds me of the Morgan, which is the goddess that I am working with throughout the year, because my spirit animal also happens to be the crow this year. So this deck is it's stunning. I love the artwork because it's like looks like charcoal sometimes, but it's ink, like ink drawings, I believe, but it's beautiful. And this deck is a truth teller. The crow energy is it's powerful. It's mysterious. But they are messengers. They are messengers. They bring messages from other realms, other worlds. They go in between the worlds. Like I love it. They're magical and they're wise. The crows are so wise. So to me, this is a very wise, truthful friend. This deck tells me how it is, but also still in a loving way. But it's very wise. And I love the images. I love the crows in this deck. So there's my Murder of Crows. The next one I have here is like the complete opposite of that one. It's the Linestrider Tarot. I love the backing of this deck as well. I also love this deck because I love all the white space. I love that it's got these watercolor splashes on there. And the artwork is beautiful. You also have a lot of animal energy in this deck. The guidebook is also amazing. But this is like my shamanic deck. I wanted to study. I keep being pulled to the shamanic studies. And so I want to study those more. I have some books that I want to get through. But the Hierophant is what like really, I did an interview with this deck, and the Hierophant kept coming out. And the guidebook for it, she mentions the shaman, the teacher, and I was like, yes, shaman. Like that just instantly made me connect with this deck in that way. And then again, just the artwork is so beautiful, and this deck is wise too, but it's soft. It has that watery feel to it, and kind of like Queen of Cups energy, like intuitive, soft, has a lot of great advice, a lot of wonderful wisdom, and helps you connect in with the animals and your intuition. And again, you just have all this white space. So I love it. Love the Linestrider. And it's funny because I realize that I have a lot of these decks in like the mini versions as well, so I can carry them with me. So I do have the mini version of this as well. Next honorable mention is this one. This is a newer deck to me, and it's the Forest of Enchantment. This deck has been around for years, but I just recently got it a few months ago, and I created my own separate journal for it. But I haven't spent a whole lot of time working with this deck yet, just because over on Patreon, I'm doing my monthly deck studies where I'm working with one specific deck each month, doing daily polls, doing spreads, playing with it, trying to bond with it more. Currently for this month, I'm working with Ritual Tarot, and I just did my update video on that. That will go up this week for them, and I don't know about that one. I love the artwork in it, but as far as bonding with it's a struggle, just because it's such a powerful, big deck. Like it's the energy, there's a lot going on in it. So anyway, I did a whole update video on that, and I'm like, we'll see how the rest of the month goes. But anyways, Forest of Enchantment Tarot. I love this deck. I think, again, it's going to be one that I do want to do the monthly deck studies with. I love the storybook vibes it gives off. And I love all the animals and the creatures in here. You have fae beings in here. You have like gnomes. Just all sorts of good stuff. And there's so many beautiful details in here. Like you have the ogams, or however you pronounce it, like carved into the sticks here. Like there's just so many beautiful details. And I also love that the Oracle deck is out now. There's a Forest of Enchantment Oracle deck. That's on my list. I totally want to work with that one alongside this. But I absolutely love the artwork. There's mermaids. It's just beautiful. So I don't have a whole lot to say on this yet. I did work with it a little bit when I first got it. The guidebook is amazing. And there's the Morgan. The Morgan is also in this deck. I view her as the Morgan with her white raven there. But it's an honorable mention because I already feel really connected to it, even though I haven't worked with it as much as I would have liked so far. Again, I do have a separate journal for it, so when I do work with it, all of my thoughts and things are going to go in that book. Also, which I probably won't be able to find it here, but every single time I work with this deck, the Fool comes out, which is the white heart in this deck. I don't know if I'll be able to, like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Watch, yeah, I won't be able to find it now, but when I shuffle this deck and pull cards from it, that one jumps out. It jumps out every time, and it keeps saying, come on, let's go further into the woods. It's like saying, come on, we have a lot of work to do, and let's go for a walk. Do you trust me? Let's go. Let's go. Follow me. It's just really cool. Okay, so in the 5th spot, so here we go. We're going into the 5th spot first. Like I said, those were the honorable mentions. The 5th spot is the Mystic Dreamer Tarot. I did not expect to love this deck so much and to instantly bond with it. I made a video on this deck before, and it was a deck that was meant to be for me because it was originally belonged to a friend. She had just purchased it and thought that she was going to work with it, but when she was shuffling it, she just kept hearing my name and kept getting the nudge to send it my way. So I am so grateful. There are a lot of crows in this deck, a lot of ravens, so that's amazing. Like, there's one there. It's all moon energy. You can see the moon in almost every card, and it is meant to be an intuitive deck as well. Even Barbara Moore, like, the guidebook's amazing. Again, it's written by Barbara Moore. There's a ton of spreads in the guidebook, which is really helpful. There's also dream work that you can do, which I've done with this deck, and I love it for that. But even when Barbara Moore was writing, like, she really pays attention to everything that's going on in the card, and she tries to read the card and see what message it wants us to know as she's writing the guidebooks. And she said that this deck really, like, she thought it was going to be like a really good storytelling, like, type of deck, but she didn't find that to be so as she was writing. It was more like a straightforward, this is the meaning of the card, because this deck wants you to connect with it yourself. And so she even does include intuitive messages or questions per card. I have the guidebook here too. This is what the guidebook looks like. I love that it's called the Dreamer's Journal too. I just think that's fun. But she has this use your intuition for each card. So it wants you, like, that's the whole purpose of this deck too, is to work with your intuition. And again, that, like, the artwork isn't necessarily my style or my favorite. But I so appreciate that Heidi, I believe was her name Heidi Doris? Doris? Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. Try to find it. Yeah, Heidi Doris. She created this deck all on a computer with computer graphics and put all those little elements all together in there. And I just think that's amazing for something that came out in, like, the early 2000s. And I think the reason why, like, it does pull me in is because when I was a kid, I used to play games on my grandma's computer, and she would have these old, they were like learning games, but I specifically remember one where it was like you were like you were on like a spaceship, and you had like all these different controls, and when you clicked on one, it would like open up and take you to a different part of the world or galaxy, and you could learn different things, and the graphics in it reminded me of this. Also, like, old PlayStation games. I used to play PlayStation games too, and some of the graphics in it just remind me of that too. So it's kind of like an not inner child, but nostalgia, like a nostalgia deck. So anyways, it's been fun working with this. It's still new to me, but it's quickly become one of my favorites. Fourth place is Darkwood. I just finished a monthly deck study on this. This was my deck for June, and I love it. For a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, Rider-Waite-Smith True deck, so the illustrations are very, go along with that system or structure. I love it because of that. It's easy for beginners too. The guidebook is amazing, written by Sasha Graham. And this is a very witchy deck. It has all those wonderful witchy aesthetics, and you're walking through the woods. There's like a whole story. It's a whole world that Sasha and Abigail Larson created together, and it's stunning. Hecate came out quite a bit when I worked with this deck. The Morgan as well. It's just a very, like, a dark feminine kind of a deck too. But it really does pull you into the dark woods and helped me to work through some things that were in shadow that I needed to pull out, especially when it comes to, like, self-doubt and having confidence. So this is a true friend. It's been a wonderful journey with this deck. I feel like I can just keep coming back to this deck all the time now and hear the hard truths sometimes, just get down to the nitty gritties and work through them. So there's the Darkwood. Okay, so the third deck is Deviant Moon. This is also a newer deck in my collection, but I bonded with it like right away. This is also a very strong truth teller. Didn't expect it to be, but it really, I love how vivid and bright everything is and how funky it is. But I also love the process in which it was made, how Patrick Valenza created, like he took images of old buildings, like old asylums, like this back here, and put them into his computer and was able to do all this artwork based off pictures that he took. And like the textures of their clothing is from old like old gravestones and things. It's just really, really cool. And I've really grown to love this deck, and I can't be without this one either. That's kind of the thing with like all these decks too. Like I can't live without them. Like I have to have them because they are like best friends. Like I love it. I just love this whole world. It's like creepy and cool and just awesome all around. And what also makes it great is the book. So when you get the deck, you get like just a little white book with it, but Patrick also has this out. You can get it on Amazon. It's also published by US Games, but this thing is amazing. He walks you through, again, the information on like how he created the images and things. But then you also get so much information per card. And his take on the images is awesome. And they've all been eye-opening for me. And I love the slightly different perspectives that he has. Because again, you get to see like why he added certain things into the cards. So it really helps with a bonding experience to get to know the deck better and things. So that is Deviant Moon. That's my third one favorite. Also have the little mini so I can carry it around with me when I want to. The next one, number 2, is another deck by him. Yep. Now, this is another one I have not worked much with, but it is number 2 because I already feel connected to it. It's like a world it's been a part of me all along, and it just took me a while to get the deck or, see it in this way. And this is his Trionfi Della Luna Paradoxical Edition. And I bought the last copy that I had. This is the 3rd edition, which I love. And I love that I got the last copy that he had in his Etsy shop. Now, of course, the mass market is out for pre-order now, which is so exciting. And it's the illustrated Pips version. So I'll leave a link down below for it too if you want to check it out. It's on Amazon. But this is the Marseille edition. I have heard that he's also, for the mass market, I have heard that the Marseille edition is also coming out. But I know they came out with the illustrated one first. But I love this Paradoxical edition. I will say the pre-order ones aren't this colorway. They're like the normal, it looks like it's on parchment paper kind of a design with like different colors. And this is like the dark, like the Paradoxical version. And I love it because it's so dark and like moody. It does remind me of the underworld. That's what it does. It reminds me of that because it's so dark and you have all these creatures. I love this one because it has 333 on it. I love it. And I'm new to Marseille. I haven't worked much with Marseille decks, but all these little extra things that Patrick added into the illustrations for these, like it's not just the 4 cups, there's still a lot to look at here, and I've been getting a lot from it already. So I'm excited to keep working with this one, and this is definitely one that I'm so happy that I was able to get it. I know he came out with different colorways before, like there's a blue one and a purple one and a rose one, and I so wish I could have gotten those. But again, I hadn't found him or hadn't come across his decks until those were like already gone. But like the blue one, really, I'm like, oh, they just look really pretty. But anyways, that is my second one. I also want to say that mine is a lot thicker because I did a mod on it. When it comes to indie decks, and especially pricey indie decks for me, I have to like add contact paper to both sides. because in my mind, it protects it. You know, I'm laminating it. So when I shuffle and things, the ink and stuff, and it also makes it glossy, which I like, but it's not going to get scuffed up and damaged. Like, I feel like it prolongs the life of the deck. So I did add contact paper to both sides, filed the edges down to get any excess contact paper off, and then edged it. And I love it. I so love this deck. Oh my gosh. Speaking of, I had a really good experience with going back to Darkwood. I had a pathworking journey with the Queen of Wands that I loved. And this Queen of Wands here is amazing. Like, I totally get that whole, like, I'm going to do my own thing. I don't care what anybody else says or tells me to do or wants me to do. I'm going to stand in my own 2 feet and I'm just going to do what I want to do. It's that total confidence and empowerment. And I just love it. So anyway, there's that one. First one, you guys, do you know what the first one is? Bet you do if you've been here. First one I can't live without. I always come back to my Tarot of Vampyres. I always come back to this one. And whenever I see the images, it just calls me home. I just love it. This deck, the images are so stunning. There's so many details in this deck. The artwork, I mean, it's just beautiful. This deck is beautiful. And there's so much to learn with this deck. There's so many pathways to explore. I get so many good messages and readings from it. This deck never fails me. Like, it's always there for me no matter what. And I love it. It brings me comfort. You know, it's the one I go to if I'm having a bad day or anything like that. And that's what a home deck is. It's your comfort deck. It's the one that you know you can always go to, and it's going to be reliable. It's going to help you through it. So that is my top deck. Also because of the guidebook. Again, the guidebook is amazing, and it so stinks that it's out of print. I know I say that every time. I'm sorry for sharing it, but it's my favorite. If you do have it though, it should be awesome. There's so much good information in this book. Talks about the Kabbalah and its associations. There's astrological associations. You can create your own character. So it's just amazing all around. So that's my updated tarot deck list. Again, even after I get done with this video, I might think of another one, but there's so many great decks out there. But these are the ones that I'm really connected to right now. And who knows, maybe next year I'll do another updated list. You never know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are your current favorite decks? I would love to know what you guys are really drawn to and what you really love to work with and what speaks to you. So let me know down below. And I will catch you guys all in the next video. Bye.